How would a Weasley summon one of their brothers?
I don't know. How?
Abracadabra!
God, I hate this book.
Hello, Book Dragons. It's Alyssa, and I have a special guest here, Megan, my fiance.
Heyo!
And you're watching Pages in Ink. Today we are going to share our Christmas book haul!
Yay, Christmas!
Yay! So there's a lot of books in this haul, so we're just going to go ahead and get started.
Bear with us, please.
So if you watched my Christmas wish list, you would know that I was really wanting Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, and it was this specific edition that I really wanted. So there's a special edition one out right now. I think it has a blue cover, but this was the cover that I fell in love with when I was a kid, and Megan tracked it down. It still has the Oprah Book Club sticker on it.
Woo.
So it is old, it is used, and that makes me even happier. So it will bear this sticker for the rest of its life, but I will definitely get to this in 2019.
That's good.
So we started a tradition a couple years ago where we do like Christmas Eve gifts, and we do like these little bags, and you get pajamas. We decided this year that we wanted to curate our own subscription book boxes for each other. And so this year, Meg's got the complete set of Chronicles of Narnia. I do have it all bound into one book, but I mentioned over the summer that I wanted the set, and she got it for me. It is in color, so like you get it's in color. You know what that means. I wanted to set the goal in 2019 to reread some of my classic fantasy books that I fell in love with forever ago. So like Chronicles of Narnia and Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And I'm gonna reread the Harry Potter series. So this is the perfect size because the bound book is too big, and this is a lot easier to carry around. My brother and sister-in-law gifted me with the unofficial Harry Potter joke book, Great Guffaws for Gryffindor by Brian Boone. It's awesome. I've been irritating her with it all day.
It's stupid, but stupid awesome. But mostly stupid.
And awesome. So, Megs is really nervous. She's just getting into reading. So she likes reading, but she's not like crazy about reading, and she's not too crazy about fantasy either.
Yeah, and we all know that she's super into like the high epic fantasy.
Give me dragons and elves.
Not this kid. I'm more like the science fiction-y. I love Star Wars. I love anything space, and I also love anything crime. Crimes and thrillers just tickle my fancy.
That was really cute.
So, the book I'm going to start with is And Then There Were Four. Dun, 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 if you can see it.
By Nancy Werlin.
Yeah, by Nancy Werlin. So, like she said, I'm just getting back into reading. I used to not read at all. Not a book, maybe a book a year, if that. But I read Truly Devious because she was, doing her YouTubes, and I watched some videos with her, and I was actually pretty interested in a lot of the videos she watched, and the Truly Devious book just sounded really good, so I was like, you know what? I want to get back into reading. Reading's cool. I need to be cool, so let's read some books. So I read Truly Devious, hooked immediately, so good, cannot wait for the second one, and Alyssa's really good at picking out books for me. I'm not good at picking out books. I know what I like, but I can't really find books to match what I like. So she got me a bunch of books for Christmas, and I'm really excited to read them. And like I said, And Then There Were Four is the first one that I might pick this one first, because it sounds really cool. The short synopsis, because like her, I don't really want to know what it's about. I want to read the book. Collapses.
Oh, breathe. You're turning so red.
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Your little rosy cheeks.
I know. I just have rosy cheeks. So this book is about 5 students. They are summoned to a building. The roof collapses. One of them dies. And then they figure out that their parents might be trying to kill them. And when I read that part in the description, I was just like, what? And that just had me instantly hooked, and I cannot wait to read this book. And then next I got the special edition of the Hunger Games trilogy. I've only read the first one. I'm really excited to finish it. But I saw these. I thought they were gorgeous. And then, I mean, just look at this cover. Like, look at that. Who doesn't want that on their shelf? And I was super excited when I opened it for Christmas.
So I think I've mentioned it several times on my channel. If you didn't know, I like to read fantasy. But I haven't really read any young adult fantasy. I've read some middle grade because I love Percy Jackson. I think Harry Potter, I guess it actually spans generations. Anyway, so I've read like Percy Jackson type fantasy books, but I haven't read any young adult fantasy. I just started reading it like a couple months ago. So all of the big name authors in young adult fantasy and like the big famous series that everyone's talking about on BookTube, I haven't read. So that being said, Meg's got Throne of Glass for Me by Sarah J. Maas. I haven't read a single one of her books. I just know that people love her or they love to hate her. I'm not sure where I'm gonna fall. I'm excited to find out if I hate her or I love her. So there's that. This is probably toward the bottom of my TBR list for next year because the series is over. I don't know. I don't know.
And that's why I got it in paperback.
Next is the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy by Jenny Han. I read The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. The Summer I Turned Pretty was one of my favorite books of the year when I read it a few years ago. And then I read the second book, and then I read the third book. And it kind of ruined the first one for me. I actually recently unhauled it because I couldn't really read the first one anymore because the second and third one ruined it for me. So I've been holding off on reading these books. I really wanted to watch the Netflix movie. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, but I wanted to read the books first. So I'm going to do that.
Speaking of Netflix, The Bird Box. So I didn't even know this was a movie. I guess it's pretty new on Netflix. I watched the trailer. Holy crap, do I want to watch the movie. But I got this for Christmas, so I'm definitely going to read the book before I watch the movie. So I actually have to read this first because I really, really, really want to watch the movie. I don't think you guys know how excited I am to watch the movie.
And it's by Josh Mallerman.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Good looking out, because I don't say the authors.
apparently it's about
monsters.
And if you see them, you go crazy.
And Sandra Bullock's in the movie, so you can't go wrong there.
Pink. So I don't read contemporary. Not that I'm against it. I just would rather read about dragons and dwarves and elves and castles and Middle-earth and Hogwarts. I mean, I'm not being specific or anything.
Not at all.
So I haven't read any major contemporary series, books, anything like that. So Meg's actually, apart from the trilogy that I just talked about, picked out some contemporary books for me to read. One of these I actually have read, so I just made myself look like a liar. But I read it because it had more fantasy elements in it. So the first one is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I feel like I have to read it because I'm a fangirl and I used to write Harry Potter fanfiction.
And she loves Merthyr.
I love Merlin and I love Merlin and Arthur together.
She ships them hard.
I hard ship them and I read their fanfiction more than I read actual books. So this one I have read, and that's Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, and this is the fan fiction from Fangirl. I don't know what Fangirl's about. I just know it's a girl who writes fan fiction.
A girl who's a fan.
A fan that's a girl.
Wink.
So this one I did read. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. I actually heard that she's coming out with a sequel to this one, and I'm really, really excited to read it. But this one definitely has fantasy and magic in it, so of course, out of the 2 contemporary books, I would choose the one that had magic in it.
Always magic. Next book that I'm super stoked for is One of Us is Lying. I can't really remember. I read the dust jacket of this book probably sometime last year, and it just kind of like stuck with me, but I never purchased it, and I don't know why. Probably because I don't really read books.
I drag her to Barnes & Noble with me all the time.
Yeah.
She doesn't trust me in there, so she's usually looking at a bunch of books.
Yeah. But this one I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And I was super stoked that she remembered and it was under the tree because I kind of even forgot about it. But when I opened it up, I was like, oh my God, I really wanted to read that. So this is another one that I'm super excited to read.
And it's by Karen M. McManus.
Yes, it is.
So keeping up with the contemporary train, Meg's picked this one out for me.
All by myself. She didn't even ask for it.
She's definitely not trying to take credit there.
Just saying. She usually gives me a list because I don't know things. I don't know what to get. So she always gives me a list, which I appreciate, so I know exactly what to get and I can't mess up, which is great. But this one's on me. And
that is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I just know that it's kind of a meet cute and it's about two boys potentially falling in love. But I'm a little nervous to read it because Becky Albertalli has good endings and Adam Silvera does not. So
it could go one of two ways.
I'm hoping it goes with a Becky Albertalli ending. So I'm hoping it's more happy ending than sad ending. And we shall see.
We shall.
Literally like a week ago, I read Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. It's about a girl named Morgan Crow. She's cursed to die on this date called Eventide when she's like 11 or 12. And everyone in the town thinks that she's cursed, so everything that goes wrong in the town, they blame on her. And on the night of Eventide, she gets whisked away. So it was a really good book. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I have a review on it coming soon. I really enjoyed it. So Meg's picked up Wondersmith for me. Same author, Jessica Townsend. I'm not going to talk about what this one's about because I don't want to give away any spoilers for Nevermore. So I'm going to get to this one pretty quickly. This Christmas haul is a book that I bought myself. And that's The Last Namsara by Kristen Ciccarelli?
We don't know.
I don't know. I was doing a book outlet order and I liked the cover and there was a promise of dragons. I know that this is kind of a polarizing book. People either love it or they hate it. So I'll find out if I like it or not. But Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah, I just want to say, we have a rule that when it comes to Christmas season, we don't buy things for ourselves.
She would never have figured out to buy this for me.
I don't care. You broke the rules, and that's just not cool, dude.
She tried to make me feel guilty and make me think that she had already purchased it for me, and I looked at her and I was like, there's no way. You
should feel guilty.
I don't, and I won't. But I'll read this.
I also got In the Woods
by Tana French.
I mean, you've been doing it the whole time. Might as well just keep on my authors. And then The Chalk Man
by C.J. Tudor.
Both of these are kind of spooky-ish books, which I'm living for. Both have to do with murders in the woods when they were kids, and it comes back to haunt them when they're adults, so we shall see what happens.
So, I already own Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I haven't read it. I was saving it for either book club or just a cold read. But Meg's picked up the special edition version of it for me. It's a gorgeous cover. I missed out on Uprooted, and I didn't want to miss out on this one. So, I basically threatened her life.
I mean, it happens sometimes. My next book is Dry
by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman.
This book is kind of, I guess you could say, dystopian, but I also like books that could actually happen. And so, you know, California with the droughts, they could actually go dry. So I think this could be a really good book.
So the next few books I'm going to mention are parts of different series. I'm not going to go into detail because they've either gotten a lot of hype on YouTube or it'll spoil the rest of the series. And that is Caraval and Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I want to get to these pretty quickly because I think finale comes out in the spring. So I want to read these first and then I can read finale when it first comes out. So I don't get spoiled.
You are always spoiled.
No, I'm saying spoiled for the story plots.
I know, but I can't let you be a liar. She's spoiled rotten.
I'm spoiled rotten. I should mention, other than like 3 books that I've already mentioned that I've read, I haven't read most of the books in my haul. I think she's only read like 1 book in her haul. So we don't really know what they're about.
And that's a good thing.
That's
we
a
don't
good
want to
thing.
know what they're about.
That's a good thing.
We want to discover the stories.
That being said, I have Renegades and Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. I loved the Lunar Chronicles. I found out this was about superheroes. I'm living for superheroes. I grew up reading X-Men comic books with my brother and watching X-Men and thinking I was actually going to get mutant powers when I turned 13 and was very devastated when I didn't.
Aww.
So any book about superheroes, I'm for.
Yay! I actually think I might like these too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have her read them.
I also got Little White Lies.
By Jennifer Lynn Barnes.
That's who it's by. It's a recent book. It came out. Sounds cool, so that's all I really know about it.
It's getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, and I'm down for it, so I'll read this one hopefully this year too. Well, this next year, 2019.
I've heard that it's like Gilmore Girls meets Pretty Little Liars. She loved the Pretty Little Liars
I freaking
series.
loved Pretty Little Liars. I read it in high school. That was probably the series that I've read the fastest. I could not put it down. It was so good.
So I thought that she'd really
I'll
enjoy
probably
it.
really like it.
And I'm going to read it too.
Yeah.
We have a little tradition in the Maxwell-Hamilton family where Megs picks up the latest Rick Riordan book for me for my birthday because it's in October and his books always come out in October. She was kind of slacking a few years, or I think there was an overlap. There was something.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
And I didn't get these ones, so she picked them all up for me for Christmas. And that is The Trials of Apollo. I read all of his books, and I know this is just kind of a continuation of his Greek God series. I don't know if the Half-Bloods from the previous books are going to be in it or not.
We don't know.
I just know that Apollo ticked off the gods, the other gods, and was turned into a human.
That's his punishment.
So I love mythology, so I'm really excited to get to them. The first one is The Hidden Oracle. I have to show off these covers.
They're gorgeous.
The second one is The Burning Maze. Beautiful cover. And the third one is The Dark Prophecy. And the books are just gorgeous.
All of his books are gorgeous.
And they're well written. And I'm not a huge middle grade reader. And I love all of his books. This next book is a book that I've read. And that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a special edition. It's gorgeous. I really wanted it. It was on my Christmas wish list, and Megs picked it up for me, so she got bonus points, and I just love it. I wish all hardcovers didn't have dust jackets, and they just...
It's pretty beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
That's a sexy book.
And I like that it doesn't have a dust jacket, because I used to have a really bad habit of losing, destroying, or ripping dust jackets.
And by used to, like, literally this year was when she started to not do this.
And I put them back on the shelf, so I don't know what happens.
Half of her Lunar Chronicles books don't have dust jackets, and I found them all mangled up, like, under the bed.
So yay for no dust jackets!
Yay!
So I want to point out that Megs actually hasn't finished the Harry Potter books.
I have not.
She started reading them.
Blasphemous, I know.
She started reading them because she was trying to impress me.
I had a crush.
And she only got to the 5th one. So her goal this next year is to read them all.
I could not get through it. Harry was just pissing me off. So I got the new box set with the new artwork, which is amazing. Here's the spine. I didn't want to get the whole thing down because it's really heavy, but I got all of them. I'm going to have to read them, and I'm super excited for the covers, so now I'm going to read the brand new ones. But I got to get through Whiny Harry.
Yeah.
The next couple books that I have here are kind of more intense books, which I love. I like when my heart pounds when I read. Dark Matter. Who's it by? My hand in the way?
Blake Crouch. Sorry, it was hard to read.
Yeah. It's a beautiful cover, but it's just kind of weird. But this is really exciting because I love Black Mirror. And when I read the description of this, it literally could be an episode of Black Mirror. So that's really cool. And then we have I Hunt Killers.
By Barry Liga.
So anything about murder and crime, I live for it.
Another fantasy series I've had my eye on. is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden and The Girl in the Tower by the same author because it's the same series. I just know that everyone loves these books. The third one comes out the beginning of next year, January, February of 2019. So I really wanted to read these. I've heard nothing but good things about them. So, yay.
My next book has a lot of hype around it, and that is Warcross
By Marie Lu.
And so, I mean, I know absolutely nothing about this book, so it'll be exciting to read.
So I think there's a theme going on in my books, and that is books that got a lot of hype.
Yay!
And so The Cruel Prince by Holly Black is one of those books. I know it's very polarizing. People love it or they hate it. The second book comes out in January. I wanted to read it really bad before the second book came out. There was a huge sale at Barnes & Noble for certain authors for like 50% off. So Meg's picked this up. I'm a firm believer in getting books from the library, especially if you have no idea what it's about and you don't know if you're going to like it. Or if you're like me and you do like to collect books, maybe pick it up on sale or through like thrift books or book outlet, somewhere cheap, and you can get it in paperback. And then if you really like it, then you can pick it up in the hardcover and give the paperback to a new owner and so have a new home. That's what I do.
Yep.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with gifting a book.
Nope.
Chugging along the hype train, Sockhill Girls.
By Claire Legrand. By Claire Legrand. It's like about girls going missing, and there's an island.
It's right up my alley. She knows what I like. She wouldn't get me a book that I wouldn't be interested in, so I'm cool. My next book, This Splintered Silence.
By Kayla Olson.
I do know a smidge, and not really it's even a smidge, but this book takes place in space, and there's a deadly virus, and that's freaking cool, because you can't escape a virus in space. You're stuck.
You're stuck.
What are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Are they going to die? Are they going to live? We don't know.
They're probably going to die.
Probably going to die. But that's okay. Well. I mean, it happens. And my last book, super cute. I'm super excited for it.
Throwback to childhood.
Heck yeah. I freaking loved Goosebumps. I'm realizing that I read a lot when I was a kid, and I don't know what happened.
By the way, this book is Young Scrooge by R.L. Stine.
Yeah, I read Goosebumps all the time. I loved it. I loved the spooky little stories. So, technically children's book. Do I care? No. Still super stoked about it.
My next book was on my Christmas wish list, and that is Ogre Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. I'm so excited to have this. It's hard not to jump right into it. I want this one to be my first read in 2019 because I just know I'm going to love it. I have all of her books. I love them all. Throwback to my childhood, too. I explained in my Christmas wish list video about Ella Enchanted, and this is supposed to accompany it. It has Lucinda the Fairy in it, and we all know how she likes to do things.
Naughty, naughty.
It's also autographed, so that is really cool and very special, and I just want to read it now, but I have to wait.
You have to wait.
I have to wait.
She has to wait.
And my last book, Book Dragon. This is my favorite thing ever. My last book is The Savior's Champion by Jenna Moresi. Not only do I want to read this book so much, but it is personalized. And I literally cried when I opened it. I'm not going to read it out loud what it says. I'll just kind of show you because it's personal. It's a personal message to me. It's not just like she was like, "Hey, Alyssa, have a good day." Like, it was personal to me, and I bawled my eyes out, which made her cry.
I'm a sap.
And we just cried together because I was so happy to get it, and it was just so thoughtful and so wonderful. And the message was just touched my heart in such a way and inspired me, which makes me love her even more. So that's it.
That's it for our Christmas book haul.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. If you liked watching us be nerds and our sloth friend in the back, then please hit subscribe and the notification bell down below. And until next time, be nice to yourself and be kind to others. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, babe. Which side of a niffler has more hair?
What?
The outside.
Stupid. I hate you. I didn't even know I had to burp. It literally just came out.
Oh my god. And then you blew it like this.
Because we're not live, so I can start over.
Yeah, we're stupid. But I'm gonna read this one real fast. I'm gonna say that different.
Murder in the Woods, when they were kids, comes back to haunt them as adults.
Yeah.
I can say words. I'm cool.
But Meg's picked up the special... These videos are just you tattling on me.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're about to break into song. You have to wait.
You have to wait. We love Broadway. Sing a song.